Did you ever look at, say, the wood grain on your car's dashboard? Or maybe, a really cool pattern on a gaming controller and wonder how they got it so perfect, especially around the curves? Well, chances are it wasn't painted or printed in the usual way. It might have been dipped. It's a fascinating process, and today we're doing an immersive deep dive into exactly that: 3D water transfer printing films. So, our mission here is to really unpack the sources you've shared. We want to figure out what this sort of hidden tech actually is, why it's suddenly booming, where it might be going next, and of course, what challenges it's up against. Think of this as your shortcut to understanding an industry that's quietly but very definitely shaping the look of so many things around us.
And you're absolutely right. It's definitely more than just, making things look pretty on the surface. The technology has this incredible versatility, this complexity.
Hmm.
It lets manufacturers do things aesthetically that, frankly, traditional methods just can't handle easily.
Okay, so you mentioned versatility. Let's break it down. For anyone who hasn't seen this happen, what exactly is hydrographic printing?
Right. So 3D water transfer printing, or yeah, hydrographics is the common name. It's essentially a method for applying really detailed designs onto three-dimensional objects
Right.
seamlessly. Picture this. You have special film, it's water soluble, and it's got your design pre-printed on it. You lay that film gently onto the surface of water in a tank.
Okay.
Then you spray an activator chemical over it. This dissolves the film material itself, but leaves the ink pattern just floating perfectly on the water surface. It's like a liquid skin of ink.
Wow, a liquid skin.
Exactly. And at that precise moment, you slowly dip the object, say a phone case or a piece of car, trim down into the tank through that floating ink layer. The water pressure makes the ink pattern wrap around every single curve, every contour, sticking to it, and you just rinse it off and apply a clear coat for protection.
That's actually amazing. The liquid skin idea really paints a picture, and you start noticing it everywhere once you know what to look for, right? You mentioned plastics, metals.
Plastics, metals, ceramics, even wood. It works
Mhm.
on a surprising range of materials.
So we're talking car interiors, dashboards, trim pieces, maybe even exterior parts.
Definitely. Automotive is huge. But also consumer electronics phone cases are a classic example. Gaming consoles, laptops.
And even home decor items, you said.
Yeah, it's making bigger inroads there too. Think vases, light fixtures, things like that. And, it's because it can do this, put these complex, high-quality finishes on such different things that it's really catching on. It taps right into that growing desire we all seem to have for products that look unique, that are customized. Manufacturers see it as a way to make their stuff stand out.
Yeah, that aesthetic appeal, that high quality finish. It makes a difference.
It really does. It helps differentiate products in what's often a very crowded market.
And we're not talking small potatoes here. The market size numbers are pretty serious, aren't they?
They are. For 2024, the global market is estimated at roughly 1.5 billion US dollars. USD 1,524.6 million to be precise.
Okay, 1.5 billion. But the growth projection is what really caught my eye.
Right. It's expected to nearly double, reaching over $3 billion, USD 3,037.9 million by 2032.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR of about 9.00% over that period. And that kind of growth, that 9%, it tells you something significant is happening. It suggests manufacturers are really shifting how they think about product design and customization.
It's not just a fad then, it's becoming a core strategy.
Exactly. It's moving beyond just a nice-to-have visual tweak towards being a key way to compete and meet what consumers are asking for.
So, okay, beyond just looking good and meeting that customization demand, what are the technical or industry drivers pushing this growth so hard?
Well, a big piece is definitely the technology itself improving. We're seeing constant advancements in the films, the materials,
Yeah.
and also in the printing equipment.
Can you give an example? What kind of improvements?
Sure. Think about faster curing films. That doesn't just mean speed. It means the underlying polymer chemistry is better. The design's set quicker, almost instantly sometimes.
Ah, so less chance of smudging, faster production lines?
Precisely. It prevents defects, speeds things up massively, and that makes the whole process much more scalable for, mass production. More efficient equipment helps too, of course.
That makes total sense. And connecting that back, this tech improvement feeds directly into that consumer desire for unique stuff we talked about.
Absolutely. The better and faster the tech gets, the easier it is for companies in, say, fashion or home decor to offer really distinctive patterns and finishes without breaking the bank. it becomes a viable option.
Okay, let's talk geography. Where is this happening most? You mentioned Asia Pacific is leading.
Yes, the Asia-Pacific region is the current giant. They hold about 40% of the global market share right now in 2024. A lot of that is driven by the sheer scale of manufacturing and the pace of industrialization and tech adoption in places like China, Japan, South Korea.
And they're expected to grow fastest too.
Yeah, that's right. The projection for Asia-Pacific is actually the highest LDR, around 10% through 2032. So they're leading now and likely extending that lead.
Interesting. So with Asia Pacific at 40%, where do Europe and North America fit in? They're still significant players, I assume.
Oh, definitely. Europe holds a pretty solid share, around 30%, and North America is at about 25%.
And what's driving the demand there? Is it different?
It's somewhat different, yeah. In Europe and North America, a lot of the demand is tied to high-end customization. Think luxury cars, premium consumer goods,
Mm-hmm.
sectors where people pay a premium for those unique, high-quality finishes and personalization.
Gotcha. So the demand is global, but maybe the application focus varies a bit by region.
Exactly. The manufacturing hubs might be concentrated, but the end products are going everywhere.
Okay, this brings up a really important point. Competition. How does this water transfer method actually compare to other ways of decorating products? Like, what's its unique selling proposition?
Good question. Its main edge really comes down to three things: versatility across materials, the quality of the finish, and its unique ability to handle those complex 3D shapes. Things like screen printing or direct-to-object printing, they're great for flat surfaces, maybe slight curves. But when you have really intricate three-dimensional shapes,
Like a complicated car interior piece or a helmet?
exactly, that's where water transfer printing really shines. It wraps the pattern seamlessly, like it was molded right in, which other methods struggle with.
And the market share numbers reflect that advantage.
They certainly seem to. If you look at the overall decorative finishing market for 2024, water transfer printing firms account for roughly 40%,
40%. Compared to what for the others?
compared to screen printing at around 30% and direct-to-object printing at about 20%. And it's even projected to tick up slightly, maybe to 42% by 2025.
So it's not just holding its own, it's actually gaining ground.
It suggests a growing preference, yeah, especially if product designs get more complex and consumers expect more sophisticated finishes.
So who are the big fish in this pond? Which companies are really dominating?
Well, the names that come up consistently are IVIP, DIC, and TWN Industries.
Okay. Any idea of their market shares?
Yeah, based on 2024 estimates, IVIP has the largest slice, around 18%. DIC is next at about 15%, and TWN holds roughly 12%.
And I assume they're not just resting on their laurels. What are they doing to stay ahead?
Definitely not. They're all investing pretty heavily in R&D, trying to improve the films, make the printing process better, more efficient. Expanding their range of patterns and finishes is also key.
Is it mostly internal development, or are they looking outside too?
It's a mix. We're seeing a lot of strategic moves, mergers, acquisitions, partnerships.
Ah, so buying technology or market access.
Exactly. It can be faster than developing everything in-house. It might be about getting specific patents, breaking into new regions, or just broadening their portfolio quickly.
And that suggests the competition is likely to heat up.
For sure.
Yeah.
Especially in those emerging markets we talked about. You could probably expect some new players trying to get in on the action by 2025 or so. Now, while the growth story is strong, it's not without its challenges. There are some real hurdles the industry faces.
Okay, like what?
One of the main ones is actually tied to the core of the process: the water. The whole thing is quite sensitive environmentally, or rather to the environment it's in. Little fluctuations in water, quality, purity, temperature, contaminants can cause big problems.
Problems.
Like the film not sticking properly, the colors fading or shifting, or just general defects in the finished look.
So quality control must be a nightmare.
It requires very stringent controls, yeah, which naturally adds to the operational costs.
Yeah.
You need sophisticated water treatment and monitoring systems.
Right. And given the reliance on water, I bet sustainability is a huge topic.
It absolutely is. There's growing pressure, both from regulators and consumers, for the industry to adopt more sustainable practices.
So what does that look like in practice?
Well, there's a big push towards developing more eco-friendly film materials, maybe biodegradable polymers, things like that, and also improving the process itself, better water treatment systems, finding ways to recycle the water and reduce waste and pollution. It's becoming a real competitive factor.
Interesting. So the companies that figure out the sustainability angle might actually gain an advantage.
I think that's very likely, yes. In the long run, being environmentally responsible is also just good business.
It sounds like these challenges, particularly around the process and materials, are actually spurring innovation too. What's coming next?
Absolutely. Necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Yeah.
A major focus is on developing next-generation films.
Okay, what makes them next generation?
Enhanced properties. Think films that are even more flexible so they can wrap around even crazier shapes. Films with better adhesion so they're more durable. And things like improved UV resistance, which is critical for outdoor products or things exposed to sunlight, like in cars or aerospace applications.
And is the process itself changing beyond the water treatment?
Yes, automation and robotics are making a big entrance.
Ah, robots doing the dipping.
Pretty much. And handling the parts. It's not just about saving labor costs. It's about consistency, precision, speed, boosting efficiency and scalability across the board.
Which ultimately means lower costs and faster production.
Exactly. Making the technology even more attractive. And one more thing, digital printing advancements are playing a role too. High-definition printers are allowing for incredibly detailed, complex patterns on the films themselves.
More intricate designs, better resolution.
Precisely. Greater precision, more versatility in what you can create. Just as a concrete example, TWN Industries, one of the big players we mentioned, they recently worked with another company, YHT, Yuan Heng Tai. Back in December 2024, they launched 4 new wood grain film patterns. These were specifically designed for high-end applications like automotive interiors, aerospace cabins, even furniture. It really reflects that trend towards super realistic, high-quality, innovative designs.
Okay, so wrapping this up, we've really taken a journey through this world of 3D water transfer printing films. We've seen it's expanding rapidly, fueled by tech advancements and this huge consumer demand for customization. And we've touched on its unique edge, that ability to wrap complex 3D objects in intricate designs, something other methods just can't match easily.
Absolutely. And I think the key takeaway is that future success in this space really hinges on balancing innovation, better films, smarter processes with operational efficiency, and, critically, sustainability. The companies that nail that balance are the ones best positioned to really thrive as this market continues to evolve.
Definitely. It leaves you wondering, doesn't it? As everything around us gets more personalized, more visually unique, how much more are we going to see this kind of almost underwater artistry shaping our everyday objects? What's the next unexpected place hydrographic printing might pop up, turning something totally ordinary into, well, a little piece of art? Makes you think.